over at DeltaProject.com, coming at you today with a graphic representation to one's healthy eating dietary lifestyle. Now, the government for years has been giving us different versions of how to graphically represent the ideal diet. They've been using pyramids all over the place, and it used to be horizontal and now it's vertical and everything, and just recently they gave us a plate, you know, and it kind of looks like a pie chart and stuff like that. And it's kind of funny, the graphic representation that they're using, because, well, for one thing, I don't know, I think in 10 years I've only met one person who ever regarded the government dietary recommendations as something worth following. First off, almost everybody I've ever met who's ever tried to lose weight or get healthy just ignores them. They don't even pay attention to them. I've never met anybody who say, oh, what are you doing for your diet to change it? No one ever says, oh, I'm following the government regulations or anything. Everyone's, I'm trying to go low carb, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to cut back on sugar, whatever. No, so either most people ignore it or most people bash it. People saying the government is telling us we've got to eat a lot of meat, or paleo saying we got to eat a lot of grain or whatever because of what the government tells us. I think for the most part we're ignoring the whole thing, and it's a bunch of just wasted money by the government, because I don't know anybody who pays attention to it. I mean, can you name off right now, real quick, how many recommendations for grains does the government recommend? I would be very surprised if you found anybody in a room of 50 people who weren't nutritionists who could answer that question. So I came up with my own. I think it makes a heck of a lot more sense, and it's a lot easier to represent food in a non-prejudiced kind of way, because a lot of times diets and so forth, they basically what they are is nutritional prejudice. This is good, this is bad sort of thing. I got the idea of a ring kind of from the idea of the King Arthur and Knights of the Round Table. The idea with the Round Table was they kind of were like, we want everybody to be on equal footing. There's no head of the table, so there's no one person who's at the head who is like the head honcho. Everybody's equal. This is the idea I wanted to represent here. Everything has its place, okay? So this is like fat, you know, and this is protein, and this is cookies, you know, and right here this little sliver is popcorn at the theater, and this is fruits and vegetables, you know, whatever. But it all fits in, and it all works, because a ring like this denotes the idea of completion, wholeness, satisfaction, which is the ultimate goal of any diet. Is we want satisfaction, physiological, emotional, psychological, because food does more than just feed our bodies. If it was just as simple as getting nutrients into the body to fuel it, we might as well just all move on to tube food. You know, because that'd be a heck of a lot simpler, easier, probably cheaper than saying, oh, I'll have, you know, the salad with so-and-so. No, just take this pill. You know, just squeeze this into your mouth and you'll be good. That's a heck of a lot easier. But of course, no one would go for it, because food plays more than just a physiological role in our life. It plays a social role. It plays roles within social situations like a celebration and everything like that. You know, this little popcorn, this right here. Popcorn when we go to the movie theaters. We're not eating it because of the roughage. You know, we're eating it because it's part of the experience. Some people find they just can't go to the movies without their popcorn. So for them, it takes a little bit of a part of their ring to make things feel whole and complete. The other aspect that we wanted to look at here was the notion that, I think this was a Native American thing, but I got it from a ski movie, that a lot of things in our life are like a ring and feeling complete and solid. But if you take something out of their life, be it a relationship or a job or, you know, something, you take something away and it leaves a gaping hole, it hurts. The person no longer feels complete, whole, and satisfied. Anybody who's lost a friend or relationship or had a dog die on them, whatever, we know this feeling, right? It's something gets removed and it literally feels like something in our life got ripped away from us. So we don't feel complete. Now, it's human nature to not want to be like this. We don't want to stay in this incomplete component. So what do? We find ways to close the cycle back up. Sometimes what we may do is just simply add something else that's there. We may find something completely new. Okay, so if we, for whatever reason, rip chocolate out of our life, and chocolate's a big part. We may try and fill it in with, okay, I can't have chocolate anymore, but you know, we may try and fill it in with chocolate flavored stuff, you know, which usually doesn't do such a good job. Or we say, okay, no chocolate, but lollipops are good, whatever. And then when it fills back in, once it's filled back in again, we feel complete and satisfied at home. We can't live a good quality of life with a dietary ring that is incomplete. It's just simply not possible. From a physiological standpoint, an emotional standpoint, a psychological standpoint, it doesn't work. You're not going to want to do it. And it's nothing about strength or willpower or anything like that. Now, from a weight loss or weight gain perspective, this also works very well because the cycle, your dietary ring, is as big as you are. So let's say, for example, we have a 2,000 calorie diet. Okay, 2,000 calories going in, 2,000 calories going out. The ring stays exactly the same size, you stay the same size. And everything in here makes up that 2,000 calories, even if it's the smallest little thing. Now, this is why a lot of dietary strategies for weight loss are, okay, so we need the ring to be smaller in some way, shape, or form. And the strategy is, let's get rid of this, or get rid of that. And of course, what does that do? It hurts like hell. And the ones that promise the fastest weight loss are taking out the biggest chunks. You know, it's not like they're saying, okay, don't eat asparagus or something. They're like, take out some sort of ingredient or food stuff that's in like damn near everything we eat, you know, and then they blame, you know, agriculture and processed foods, and they blame something on putting too much of this in. But the whole hook of the entire diet is, we don't care what you take out, just make sure it takes out a big chunk of whatever you're eating in order for it to work. It doesn't matter what it is, just something that's a big chunk. So of course, what's going to happen? The circle is going to get a lot smaller, but it's going to hurt like hell. No wonder people don't stick to it very well. So my strategy is, don't take anything out. You know, keep all the parts there, but just make each little part a little bit less. Just a little bit less of this, a little bit less of that. The number will go down. You know, we'll have like 1,500. And the whole thing will shrink naturally on its own, but we're not ripping anything out, if you will. It's a much more gentle way of going about it. Is it sexy? No. Does it sell a lot of books? No. You know, it's nothing that's going to get me on a talk show anytime soon. But it's going to be a heck of a lot easier on you in the long run. Let me know your thoughts down below on this if you have anything else to add. Till then, be fit and live free.